Hi, my name is Ben. I am here to teach my friend Bryce how to do an ollie on a skateboard today. Hello, Bryce.
Hello, Ben.
Alright, so this is the skateboard. There's a couple things that we need to do to be able to do an ollie. So, the next thing I want to go over is the parts of the skateboard. This is important, especially for instruction, so you know where to put your feet and what people are talking about and get the terminology down, as well as how the skateboard functions, and it gives you the understanding of how the theory works. First is we got to find our stance.
What's a stance?
Stance is which foot we put first on the skateboard, and that differs between people if you're a righty or lefty. Today, I am going to teach you how to do an ollie on a skateboard. I'm going to teach you the theory behind it, the parts of the skateboard, and how to do the trick itself. Alright, to accomplish this, I have a few strategies that I'm going to incorporate into this lesson. First, I'm going to give you a little bit of the theory about the skateboard, and I'm going to show you how to do it. I'm going to describe what to do. Alright, so I'd kind of like to get a little bit of an idea of your background with it, your affiliations, your prior knowledge, just to kind of gauge how I'm going to approach.
Skating, I mean, I've never been able to do an ollie. I've done it, but very few times, and I've tried a lot. So this is a skill that I'm far from mastering. Yeah.
Well, that's good that you have an experience being on a skateboard. You've been around it.
Yeah.
You know the skater culture, I guess.
Right. Yeah, definitely. X Games, ESPN. You know, I watched some of the. Not as much as when you were a teenager, but.
Right.
Yeah. Skating.
So you've seen the X Games. That's good. So you followed it. You know some skaters.
I know some skaters, you know, I played some Tony Hawk, some skating. You know.
So you've definitely seen people do the tricks.
Yes, and I've tried to do it myself, but I just haven't had much success.
That's what I'm going to try and do here, incorporate some of the theory behind it, so maybe you understand what it is that they're doing.
Okay, let's give it a shot.
You know, the ollie is the foundation to a lot of other tricks, so we're just going to start with that. Alright, to start, I'd like to go over the parts of the skateboard. That way when I'm describing what to do and where to stand on it, you'll know. And it's also just good because it teaches you how the tricks will be done. The skateboard consists of a few main parts. The wood part that you stand on, this is the deck. There's two parts to the deck, the nose and the tail, or the tail and the nose, depending on wherever you put your feet. Your back foot is going to designate to the tail. So wherever you put your back foot, that's the tail. Wherever you put your front foot, that's going to be the nose. Alright? So we got the deck, tail, and the nose. Now, the turning mechanisms, what steers you or allows you to turn by leaning, these are the trucks.
Okay.
Alright? And then attached to the trucks are the wheels. And that's what makes you roll. So we have the deck with the tail, the nose, and the trucks with the wheels attached to them. Alright? So I'm going to ask you to pay attention, remember that stuff, because we're going to call on that information at the end of the lesson, alright?
Okay.
So now let's get into how you stand on the skateboard, alright? Because this is going to lead us into the ollie. We've got to figure out our stance.
Yes.
I like to take the analogy of sliding the second base. Which foot would you put forward if you were running and sliding into a base?
Second base, I'm using my left foot. I'm going in left.
Alright, so that's going to be your front foot. Me, when I go, I put my right foot forward, so I'm the opposite of you.
So you know, the mirror image.
For learning purposes, it actually works pretty good because you can see me, and it is exactly how it's a mirrored image of how I'm doing it. So get on figuring out which foot we put first, or which foot we put forward. And the idea of an ollie is to hit down on the tail, and that'll bring the nose up. And then And then, when the nose is up, we kick on the nose to bring the tail up, so it's going to even the board out. And then you're going to be on top of it and land down. So that is the idea of an ollie, hitting on the back of it, bringing the nose up, and then jumping to the nose and bringing the back of it up. And it's kind of like a fluid motion on pressure.
Oh yeah, it's physics right there.
So I'm going to go ahead and attempt to show you what it looks like, incorporating the theory. Remember, I'm hitting back on the tail and then kicking forward on the nose.
Okay.
And then landing down on it.
That's it. You landed it.
Let me give you one more solid. Exactly.
That's a good demonstration.
Alright, you see how the bottom of it snapped up and hit my heel on my back foot? So the first one, this is up, and this goes up and allows the board to snap. So I'll do it one last time, a third try, just to show you. Sorry, let me get one more, I'll land it. And that's it.
I can do it without landing it. Alright, so now I get on this and let's go ahead.
Yeah, so we're going to figure out the stance.
You taught me.
Figure out the stance, hit the tail, pop the nose, and then land on it.
Okay. So I get on, push forward, pop the tail.
There you go.
That's an ollie.
That's pretty good.
That was back. One of the first ollies I've ever landed in my life. Okay, I think I get the hang of this.
That's really good. So you understand.
It's easier though on carpet. I mean, when I'm on the streets and you're rolling and trying to do it moving, jumping over stuff, it's a little more difficult. But this is a good, like, beginner stage right here.
That's why I like doing it on carpet. All the sports like snowboarding, skateboarding, surfing, you're going to see them practice on the stationary objects. So you really get it down. I'll go ahead and just show you one last ollie. And that's it.
That's it.
That can lead to other tricks. You can do 180s and stuff like that.
Right, you can do a lot. I mean, like I told Jesse in the X Games, you can do a lot of stuff out the ollie.
This brings us into the last part of the lesson, where it's a little bit of an assessment, just to recap everything that we've gone over, and
see if I've been paying attention.
See what you've paid attention to, maybe see what I need to work on. Two things we want to accomplish: identifying the parts of the skateboard, and the theory of the ollie, what you actually have to do to do it. Okay. So let's start. The actual wood part is called the deck, and if your back foot was here, and if your front foot was here, it would be the nose. The turning mechanisms, trucks, and attached to the trucks, the wheels, main parts of the skateboard.
Round and round. Yep.
So now the theory of the ollie. If you
put pressure on the back, it'll pop the nose up, and then use your heel to level it out. And you're kind of standing on it. Where you're standing on it in air. Just drop down, bring it back down, land it.
So we'll say that in a more organized way. Okay. First part of the ollie, if you're back, you press down on which part of the board?
You pop the tail.
And then you pop.
Then you kick the nose, kick down the nose.
And that should do what to the board?
Level it out.
Level it out. And then you land it.
Try and land on the board. Sometimes you do, sometimes you don't.
Yeah, and as you see, you know, I've been doing it for years. It's one of those things that it's never perfect, but once you get the theory, the practice, the more times you'll be like,
well, some of those professionals make it look like it's perfect.
Yeah, they do. Well, thank you for joining the lesson. Do you have any questions, or did we go over everything pretty good?
You know what? I came in here to learn how to do an ollie, and I say that that lesson plan was accomplished.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for coming, and hopefully we have some more lessons in the future. It is the end of the semester, and I have completed the final orientation video or the final video, and I'm going to reflect on the orientation video and the final project. So many things became clear when I saw the orientation video. Basically, the awareness of how many ways that I can improve it came into picture. What I mean by that is I used a cognitive theory of strictly just asking the person to use cognitive skills to retain and remember the information. I didn't actually get into showing the trick of the ollie on the skateboard, which was the primary part of the lesson, was to teach someone how to do it. I thought I would just use the theory, but after reading Ormrod and getting into the social cognitive theories, modeling became a central theme in that. And modeling seemed like it would be a good strategy to use for teaching someone how to do an ollie. So I incorporated modeling into the new lesson, and it was something that I didn't have in the old lesson. I also tried to gauge their relevance and their cultural knowledge and how the activity related to them through a sociocultural theory by asking questions and tapping into their prior knowledge and seeing what previous experiences they had and if they knew the culture of skateboarding, because there's a big culture of skateboarding, and this will all affect a person's motivation or how well they can perform the trick in the end. So basically I only used one learning theory in the original video. It was a cognitive theory. It was scattered, it wasn't organized, I did not lay out the objectives of the lesson. I didn't have any assessments incorporated into it, and these are all things that I added to the new video. In the new video, I would have liked to have made it clear when each activity is ending and when the new one is beginning, and just be very precise, saying, okay, we're going to go into the next activity, which is, and then state what that activity is going to be. Just being as clear and concise as possible is what I really found to be effective, and I could improve that on my final project as well. But I really did like how the video fit together, and I incorporated the 3 strategies. I incorporated cognitive theories, sociocultural learning theory, and social cognitive theories, and the students seemed to do pretty good. So I could always improve my clarity and make it concise, but I really thought that I really learned a lot from this class, and I liked how I got to incorporate new skills and strategies into the lesson, like modeling and assessments that I didn't incorporate at first. Well, thank you very much, and this class was very enlightening, and it is definitely that I'm going to keep with me for the rest of my life. And I appreciate all the time you've taken, and I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you.